hello, hello. I am the light of the Leo. So happy that you're here to join me through these moments of self-discovery and great conversation on my series of my struggle to be me. I have Jonathan with me, the little brother, my accountability partner, the person that makes sure that I'm doing it and doing it right.
That's right.
Oh gosh, and let me change this. Well, I tell you, I'll be forgetting sometimes exactly what I'm doing.
And it happens to the best of us.
Don't it?
I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I've seen our father walk into the kitchen and be like, "What did I come in here for?"
Okay.
And I do that from time to time too. Happens to the best of us.
Exactly. You're right. And of course, I don't beat myself up for it. I just know to continue to move forward.
That's right.
But anywho,
Ooh, that's
so
right.
I just first of all wanted to explain how this topic came to me. So you know that whole thing with that bishop talking about Beyonce and how she is basically the devil, she's not saved and all this, that, and the third. And we've talked about this before. It's like it's just ridiculous to just put all of that on somebody, especially when you don't know them. Just because
Right.
she does like R&B music and stuff like that doesn't mean that she's the spawn of Satan. But that's another conversation for another day. But it really sparked a conversation on how we should be thinking as somebody that loves Jesus Christ, somebody that's saved, somebody that's in the church, how we should be thinking on those things. And I think it carries over to a lot of other things from smoking, drinking, having sex, marriage, baby having, all that stuff, how we're supposed to move, how we're supposed to think, right?
Hmm.
And with that particular conversation, with the way that Bishop Wooten went in on Beyonce like that, um, there's a lot of church people that roll their eyes. There's a lot of church people that said amen.
Hmm.
And there's some people that roll their eyes, still was able to say, like, well, I understand where he's coming from because that's what we're taught. We're taught that this, that, and the third. That's actually the running thing in the church to say that people are Satan lovers because they don't do exactly to the T exactly what you like as far as how you believe Jesus is to be praised or represented and things of that nature.
Right.
And just to, veer away from that, where the conversation started, that had me thinking about how having a set line of what we should be is has quickly erased what we can be as an individual, even when it comes to our opinions, how we want to live, um, the things that we are to accept. Like, according to some churches, I shouldn't accept my brother because he's gay.
True that.
But when I sent this message of text to you about this one, what were you thinking about, Jonathan?
The first thing that came to my mind, I went right back to me growing up and the bullying that I endured, and I'd always thought like, geez, why didn't I try to fight back, like physically fight back? Why didn't I try to do that? And I realized it's because of my upbringing. It's because I know that I would have felt like God would have been disappointed with me. I know for a fact that my parents would be humiliated. My parents would definitely take the belt to my booty. My parents would definitely be very, very upset. Even if I were to tell them why I did what I did, it still would not have been accepted. I don't believe it still would have been accepted in our house. Now, maybe there would have been a little bit of wiggle room because they would have known how I was, but I had always felt like in that moment, I always felt like that made me weak. But there's no telling where my life would have ended up if I had decided to fight those people who were saying those ugly and nasty things towards me.
Jonathan,
But
I
But that comes from the church. It's how we were brought up, you know? So,
I feel like I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready?
sure.
So, in middle school, there was someone that was kinda, like, annoying my friend in middle school, and, I just didn't like that, and he was
Mhm.
starting to get a little handsy with her, like, a little pushing or whatever. I scratched him down his arm,
Wow.
the same arm that was trying to get at my friend,
Mhm.
and he told, and
Okay.
both of us got written up.
Wow.
So, you know me, I take things a little hard. So I
Yeah.
was in, I was on the bus with this write up, and like, with parents that, keep keep up on things like our parents did, I
Right.
knew there was no point in trying to keep that from them or whatever. Child, I think I called her and told her what happened.
Mm.
And when she came home, you wanna know what she did, Jonathan?
What'd she do?
Nothing.
Wow.
Not a thing.
Wow.
I beat myself up enough for her taste.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, as far as fighting is concerned, to be honest,
Because that's another thing. That
we
is like,
we we don't know what they would have did though.
no, no, we don't. We really don't.
And you I don't like to really dwell on shoulda, coulda, wouldas or what we could have done in the back then,
Right.
but to be honest, I kind of believe that they wouldn't have come down as hard as you believe that they would.
I do believe
That's
that.
what I believe.
I agree. I agree. I do believe that. Sometimes in situations, I think the absolute worst
You
case
do.
scenario, I do that a lot. And so, of course, that's what I was thinking in that particular instance. I didn't want, I don't want to say the wrath because our parents are so wonderful and amazing.
They certainly
Um, but that's what I feared. That's what I feared the possibility of them having that anger. And I didn't want to see that displayed on my parents' face.
like, just to be honest, I think it just would have been, like, possibly disappointed, but then again, I think it would more come from, like, "I did not know you're being bullied." That's one thing we can
Gotcha.
say, we just didn't know. And, with not knowing, we don't know how we would have reacted in those moments, but I
Right.
I wholeheartedly believe that it would not have been as bad as you thought it would be.
I agree. I believe that as well.
Yeah, but going on with the subject here, the way that I am, the way that I feel, the how I love the whole thing of live and let live, I think I'm gonna have to do a whole video on living and let living, because we'd be able to find more peace with ourselves if we stop being so concerned with how other people are living,
Right.
and I believe that is a big thing in the church. How on earth can you
Hmm.
say that somebody's saved or not just by their actions?
Right.
I believe there are some people that will believe that I'm not saved by me being, listening to secular music sometimes and, um, being into other stuff, rituals and stuff, things that's basically in the Bible, but not many people like look at it.
Right.
Um, being into some of those things that don't seem sanctified and full of the Holy Spirit, but it's
Right.
like especially stuff like me having an altar and stuff like that. Everybody should have an altar in their home,
Right.
but some people feel like that could be hinging on the demonic. Like, how is it when it's all dedicated to King Jesus and the Bibles are on there and all that stuff? It's like we can't be who we are. We can't worship like we want to worship because it doesn't look like you are saved. It doesn't look like it. So
Right.
that's why I can go back to that whole thing, him saying that Beyonce sold her soul to the devil.
Right. I feel as though in the church, there are certain lines that every Christian will not cross. And people judge others based on their decisions as to where their line
Easily.
lies. as to, whether it's secular music, whether it might be smoking, or whether it might be drinking, or whether it might be having sex, or so to me, it's like it's all left up to you. It's your choice. Don't let a man or a woman dictate how you're going to
Mhm.
conduct yourself. You take it upon yourself to go to God, converse with Him, and see where it is. If you're not comfortable with something, then of course you're not going to do it. But if you question whether you should be comfortable with doing something or not, it might be a good idea not to do that thing, because
Absolutely.
if it's giving you a little bit of iffiness, then maybe it's not good for you. But like I said, everyone has that line that they will not cross as far as Christianity is concerned, and they judge people based off of where their line is. And your line is much further out than my line. I don't listen to secular music. I don't eat seafood. I don't eat beef, or all these different things that people categorize as to what makes a Christian. And you really can't worry about the minutia.
Yeah.
That gets clouded in
You
your mind.
you can't base your walk, your Christian walk, you can't base your salvation on somebody else,
Right.
because then you're leaning on towards somebody else's definition, not what the Lord has spoken to you about.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's another great thing that I did want to talk about. What is the Lord telling you? Like, when it comes to smoking, when it comes to drinking, like, in all technicality, smoking is not against the will of the Lord.
And it's
But
never been said that it was against the will of the
okay,
Lord.
but it is destructive towards the body. And it's like that's just another thing that has been interwoven into the church experience, just a fear-based thing, like if you're smoking,
Right.
ooh, or somebody's outside smoking after the church, ooh, oh, no, they're
Right.
apparently not saved.
It just doesn't look right.
And
And that's
and
that's sad.
and excuse me, that makes me think about the bishops and preachers and all that stuff that smoke cigars and stuff like that.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Are they any
Absolutely.
less saved? Are they any less, it's like we just placing our opinion on any and everything, and even when it comes to, like, drinking and stuff, it basically says in the Bible, "Don't get drunk."
Right. Right.
Um, but to be seen drinking, or because sometimes, like, if you don't know the level of King Jesus following, like, for example, Regina, she told me this great story about how a pastor, they were having dinner with at a restaurant, and he ordered, and she is so she didn't know what he ordered. It sounded like he ordered, like, a double Crown and Coke, um,
Oh, okay.
and, just, a little cocktail for the moment, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
And it came so naturally to him, he forgot that they were there. He
Wow.
apologized for he apologized for ordering an alcoholic beverage in front of them, and they were like, "Uh, do you? I mean, you don't have to try to change who you are just to be around us. We love Jesus. We know you love Jesus, and having an alcoholic beverage does not change that." Now, I think the only difference is when there is a history of addiction. I
Hmm.
feel like the Lord would guide somebody that has a history of addiction, or somebody that's, been affected by, somebody that was an alcoholic,
Right.
to not do that because of what they seen it could happen to them, or they know that it is hereditary for them to be hooked on that. So, I understand that for sure, but, yeah, there's nobody that will be able to tell me like, "Hey, you shouldn't be drinking that wine. Well, it tastes very good." All right.
Right. You want some?
Yes, please.
But the reason why that pastor did what he did is because he was with the church folk. And I don't think I would have. I definitely wouldn't have said the same thing. But I understand why he said that, because you never know what others are thinking, and when you're in a position like he is, you got to make sure all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. So
And
I don't blame
this
him for doing what he did.
And this is something that slows us down from our individuality, because there's a big old chance that that man knows he ain't got no problem with drinking. He just likes to
Right.
have a beverage with his dinner. And I
Exactly.
don't see anything wrong with that. And to be honest, even if I did, that's none of my business. That's between you and your God.
Exactly. Exactly. And that goes back to the importance of having an individual relationship with the Lord, because the Lord will individualize your process because it's specialized for you. And that's what I think is so beautiful of the fact of the fact of our individuality. And no two people are the same. Not even identical twins are the same. Yes, they share the same DNA, but their characteristics may be different, or certain things differentiate who they are. So that's what I love the most about the way that God created us. He did not create two of the same, and I
Mhm.
love that. And that's how He treats everyone's relationship with Him differently. So looking at your walk, Jennifer, it's completely different from my walk. And at the time, like around 2000, 2001, I was comparing myself to you and Tyrone, and I felt like I was falling behind.
Really?
But then I had to realize, you know what? I'm in this place in my journey where I am now. There's no need to try to speed things up. There's no need to try to slow things down or anything like that. I just need to stay on this ride and ride this thing right on out.
I was
And just
thinking
celebrate
vice
in the
versa,
end.
to be honest with you.
Wow. Wow.
Until I got to the space, Jonathan has his path. We all have to continue
Exactly.
to remember that. Jonathan has his path to his destination, because I'm not about to go where he's going. He's
Right.
going to do his thing. And as we all continuously dive into our individuality, we'll be able to reach more people, because more people may be able to gravitate towards you, Jonathan, versus Tyrone, or myself versus you. So it's like, as long as we hit our audience, as long as we hit the people that would connect to us, or maybe they
Right.
might be able to connect with both of us because they see a little something in all of us,
Right.
we can still move forward in our personal greatness. And that's yet another thing that really kind of brings us down in church. There's the hierarchy. There's always somebody better than you, or looked at as better than you. And that's another thing that kind of tears us down, as if we'll be saying the wrong things or doing the incorrect things. But one thing about God is that He has a special path for each and every one of us. And a
Right.
lot of times that path does not end up in the church that you're in.
You're right
It
about
don't,
that.
a lot of times it won't end up there, because those people are already thinking their ways. Sometimes there might not be much you can say for them to feel any different, any better, any more free, any more relieved. It may be nothing that you'd be able to say, because you're just not for them. And that's
Right.
fine. That's not fine. That's awesome, because God knows who you are for, though. And
Exactly.
that is the difference. Um, I want to just continue to push individuality, because as
Right.
we flow in who we are, especially after you find out who you are, because that's step one. Who are you?
Okay, that's journey number one.
That, thank you.
Lord have
It's not
mercy.
even step. Oh, come on, Jonathan, talk about the journey.
Yeah.
That is journey number one. Identification. I need to write that. Identification is part of journey number one that you take through this walk with the Lord. He will show you who he is, and He will show you who you are. So first He showed Himself to be my Father, always taking care of me. Then He showed me who I was by letting me know, not only are you brilliant, you're a writer, you are a genius, you are this, that, and the third. And I'm like, say what, me?
Right.
Telling me, speaking to into me, letting me know everything that I am, things that I didn't even know that I was, things that I didn't even know I'd be able to aspire to be. But He gave all that to me. That was journey number one. And the journey number two was doing my best to walk in that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Though not everybody was aware of the awesomeness that was walking through the door every day.
Yeah.
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 And
For
yeah.
me, it took me, I didn't really accept my own sexuality until I was 21 no, until I didn't come out until I was 21. I didn't begin to realize what my sexuality and how I fit into the LGBTQ plus community until I was 19. And
Mhm.
that's when I slowly began my journey of finding out who I was, so that I can then serve the Lord as openly as I can, and as specifically towards and to me as I could. But I think I'm glad that I went through that journey. Um, I learned a lot about myself, and the main thing about this LGBTQ plus thing is, many of us feel like we're alone, and I think
Mhm.
that that's the reason why it is so important for coming out, because I didn't see the significance of coming out until I actually came out to my mother. I thought it was, oh, that'll be nothing, but the moment I came out to my mother, I began to cry uncontrollably, because I had no idea how I would feel to know that my mother accepts me the way that I am. And if my mother accepts me the way that I am, knowing that the Lord accepts me the way that I am, then I don't have to answer to none of these men's, okay?
None of 'em. None of 'em.
And also, I also wonder, with these people who, like I said, who have these lines, these stricter lines, like I won't drink, or I won't curse, or I understand that, or I won't do certain things, listen to secular music. Like, what do these people feel that is going to happen if they were to do those things? Like, do they fear that God is going to punish them, or what? Or I guess they feel as though they won't look as great in God's eyes.
That's exactly what it is because that's been teached and preached all this time. If you have a man in the pulpit talking about how, doing listening to secular music is not good and you're gonna go to hell. Being gay is not good and you're gonna go to hell. Drinking and smoking is not good and you're gonna go to hell. It's like some people, that stuff is totally embedded in them. I think I wanna thank our mother for showing us that, some of the stuff is a little bit overly. I don't know if you remember that time when I recorded myself singing "One in a Million" and mommy heard it?
I don't remember that.
So we had one of those recorder little things and you press record and,
Yeah, because I used to record myself all the time.
I sang "One in a Million" and my mama heard it, and Jonathan, you were acting like I was about to get in trouble. "Ooh, oh no, get in trouble." But mama said, "Hmm," and just kept it pushing. I was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, shoot, mommy and daddy." Especially when it came to music, daddy always expressed his, diversity in music. And you know what's funny? We didn't really listen to a whole lot of R&B, but
We didn't.
there was a point where we started to listen to the oldies in the house and in the car.
Yes. And
Now,
that's when that I specifically remember that, because I got tired of hearing all those oldies. I
I
got
loved every bit of it.
tired of them oldies, child.
I
Lord
loved
have
it.
mercy.
I
But
loved it.
you know what? It's pretty interesting, because we grew up in the same church, and we were there for over 18 years. Initially that's what we were hearing, that don't listen to that secular music, or don't do this, or don't. Did pastor ever say don't listen to secular music, or did mommy and daddy just naturally do that themselves for us?
I think it was a natural thing.
Okay.
I don't remember the pastor saying that.
Me either, but we
Um,
weren't in the sanctuary at that time either, so.
yeah, who knows? But I do know that mommy and daddy were a lot more churchy earlier on than
Right.
afterwards.
Agreed, agreed,
Um,
agreed.
because the walk started to become a lot more personal afterwards, and also with how strict things were and stuff like that. I guess you had to kind of let loose at the house sometimes and do things at the house, and yeah, we didn't need all that extra. But I praise God we are where we are now.
Absolutely,
Just
absolutely.
open to all this stuff, especially like going into the prophecy side of town. That's something that we never really got into. I don't ever I we never were preached about prophecy and none of that.
No.
And to find out that that is in us, it's like, we wait, like, here come the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Why didn't we know anything about this? Why couldn't we just, But I'm happy that we are where we are now. I'm happy that we were curious enough to find out what's going on within us. I'm
Right.
happy that we dug deep into finding ourselves. And with that, being able to break away from the things that the church has installed in us,
Right.
which is why we're able to listen to a Bishop Wooten and be like, "Oh, here we go."
Foolishness.
Of course, this is what he's going to say. Of course,
Right.
you know. And then to hear Dorinda Clark, one of the
Okay,
Clarks.
don't be mad at Beyonce,
Don't
y'all.
leave, y'all leave Beyonce alone now.
Did you hear the word is in the song, y'all? Did you hear the word
At least something's in there.
is in the song, y'all? Did you not listen to it, y'all? Don't mess with that girl now.
Don't leave her alone. But
I loved that. I absolutely
it's and it's
loved
like,
that.
and something tells me, I know some of it is about money. Let's keep it real, okay?
Of course.
Somebody that big, that huge is using your music. That's freaking amazing, okay?
Right.
Um, it's a blessing, it's an honor. You know what I'm saying? You're getting money from it. Praise God. But I mean, it's their music. They,
And I'm sure Dorinda probably still doesn't listen. I'm sure Dorinda doesn't listen to secular music at
there's a big
all.
old possibility. They
But
even work on music with Snoop Dogg and
yeah,
Faith Hill.
Faith
What's
Evans.
Mary J. Blige?
Was
I
it
heard
Faith
Mary J.
Evans?
Blige or something. I don't know.
I
They
don't know.
work with a lot of people that's in
Right, a lot of
the
people.
secular community, and it's like it's kind of difficult for me to care. And once again, the whole thing about her being um basically the spawn of Satan, like, I'm sure she don't even know what a Wooten is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Of
for
course she
you
doesn't.
to just automatically say that this is who she is and this is what she's doing, sir.
Don't know that lady from a can of paint.
And can I tell you, back in the day, I would have like been on board with this though. I was here for all the conspiracy theories and everything, child.
Oh wow. Okay.
Child, yes. But when you try to start to look with your heart and also pick pick out the things that people do. This is not the first time, but this is the second time their music has been used heavily in her music, in Beyonce's music.
Yeah.
Um, that tells me, number one, she listens to it.
Okay. She knows it.
She knows of it. And she felt it was good enough to use, to sample. Personally, I do believe she loves Jesus Christ. That's what I believe.
I do too.
I believe the best for a lot of people, even if I just believe they're just good people. But I believe there is a spiritual side for Beyonce and
Right.
Jay.
I feel as though for those of us who grow up in the church, the possibility of us just losing our faith is like slim to none, at least in
Because
my mind, because when you grow up with that, that is literally all that you know.
ingrained.
And I know that Beyonce grew up in the church, so it's all that she knows. She may not express it outwardly to her fans. She's not obligated to do that, by the way, but she may not express that outwardly, but that's her business and that's
Mhm.
her walk with the
And it
Lord.
and it sounds like King Jesus didn't come down from on high and tell her to be an evangelist. So, I
That is
mean,
not her ministry,
that's not her
y'all.
ministry. What her ministry is, you know, I feel okay. I know I'm about to go far, but I do feel like she must be a little bit prophetic because all the visions and dreams that she has, and she puts them on the stage.
Hmm.
She got a little something there because it's amazing to have that kind of a gift and come up with a great stuff and have such great performances. So she is the bee's knees. Um, I did at one point like try to slow down listening to her because I thought she was a little demonic. Don't tell nobody.
Oh, wow.
But it's like I just had to open my eyes. And even if she was, one thing I've learned is that it depends on the intention that you have. when you're listening to things, the things that you ingest. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it's all about, your
It's about the
intentions.
intention. When I and I'll say this last little story and I'll be done. I used to burn a whole lot of incense because I just love the smell of incense in the house. And at one point, the Lord pretty much had me to stop doing it. He had me to stop burning incense, period. And I was just wondering why, like, is it demonic or anything like that? But as I was learning about it and seeing what it was in the Bible, the only place that you burned incense was on the altar.
Gotcha.
And basically burning it for a reason, an intention, sweet incense to give up to the Father.
Right.
So it's an intention to everything. And I give it all to the Lord.
Agreed.
I hope you guys can ride with me on this situation to relate. If you can relate, go ahead and put in the comments you relate and give me a situation where you had to kind of like de-churchify yourself in some situations and things like that. I think we're going to have to talk about living and let live in the future because it's such a great way to live.
It is.
Not saying that you don't care. It's just that, hey, you do you. I hope the best for you, but do you. Jonathan, what's your YouTube channel name?
Yes, my YouTube channel name is JoJo Speaks. So just type in JoJo Speaks into the search bar. My channel will pop right on up for you. I post every Thursday night at 9:30 with hot topics and social commentary with my sister Genesita, as well as her husband and my brother-in-law Tyrone and our friend Mike. We talk about the latest happenings and things going on. We're currently doing P-Valley reviews, so you will be interested in seeing how we feel about the finale on this coming Thursday. I have to watch it after this goes off, so I'm very excited to see how that goes. But yes, JoJo Speaks on YouTube. Subscribe and share with all of your friends.
I think I might watch it like Tuesday during work or something like that. We'll see how that works out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, what is your stuff?
Yes, my Instagram is JoJo_3020. My TikTok is JoJo_3020_. And my Facebook is Jonathan Lee. So just type in Jonathan Lee into search bar. My picture will pop right on up and you can find me and see me. I also have the email address, WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com, if you need to reach out to me any other way.
Awesome. For me, I am the Light of the Leo on Instagram as well as TikTok. Of course, it's Jennifer Star McCullum on my Facebook page. If we're friends, we're friends. God bless. And that's pretty much it. And you'll be able to find me, the Light of the Leo, on the YouTubes as well. The best way to search it is just type in My Struggle to Be Me, then Light of the Leo. You'll be able to find me. The first thing that comes up is like tarot card reading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just type in My Struggle to Be Me, then Light of the Leo. You'll find me quickly. All right. So I do thank you guys for joining us. My prayer is that these conversations will just continue to open us up to show how we mostly have the same experiences, and hopefully we'll be able to walk more and more in our own light. So let your light shine throughout the rest of this week. I'll be with you trying to do the same thing. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.